Copy off mine. Are we on? Hey, which camera are we on? I don't even know that. I can't tell. You're gonna have to point the camera to me. Hey, welcome back to the Last Lap Live. It's 2015. We didn't win our Emmy, but we got a second season, so we're gonna be back, and things are gonna change a little bit. It's
We're
gonna
gonna
be
shoot for that Emmy.
yeah, it's gonna be a shorter show. We got some pre-taped segments that we're gonna throw in. I think that Shelly's gonna be a little more controversial, maybe, and make it a little entertaining.
You gotta catch
So-
me on like Saturday nights after the races.
Well, maybe we'll do some interviews
or you
with
should
you.
get you should have caught me over the winter.
Yeah. But now we can.
Yeah.
The monitor is now in her lap, so we can't see it off to the side here. So I'm not sure what's going on, but
Yeah, I'll put it here so we can at least know kind of what's going on.
there you go. But it's like 40 seconds behind.
Yeah, it is, but at least we know.
I got the first text already. It says no sound, Stephen, so they can't hear us.
Did you turn on your mic?
Sounds on.
So the
I
first
can
thing we
hear
do,
it.
yeah, we could hear it on
Yeah.
there.
I
Is
think
it
we're
still
good.
on there? Yep. So the person that just sent me the text needs to turn their sound up, I think, because we got it on our monitor here that it's happening.
Unmute, right?
Yeah, unmute that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna let me know when we're switching cameras and stuff? See,
When you're talking, this camera's on.
that's always on me there.
When you're talking, yeah.
Okay.
When she's talking, that camera's on.
All right. I didn't know you did it that way.
I didn't either.
I didn't watch the show before, so I didn't
We've
know how it
always
worked.
done it that way.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you were on top of things.
It's been a long winter.
It has been.
It had. Oh my God, it has been.
It was way too cold and way too snowy for way too long, but
Yes.
did get to do a few winter things. I did get to do some snow skiing and sledding and that sort of stuff, so it wasn't all bad. I know you are not a fan of the snow, so
I'm not a fan of that. I was just not a fan of this past winter.
was it different than the last one?
Yes.
Any particular reason why? This is where the controversy
Off
is going to come in?
season was pretty controversial and pretty stressful, and
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
By the
See,
end
I've
of the
already let all
year-
that stuff go.
well,
It's
I
racism
did
now.
too until we got here and started thinking. At least I'm trying to let it go, but you know, it was a long winter.
I got another text now. It says that sound is terrible. It's working, but it's terrible.
It
So
doesn't sound too bad on my phone.
I'm not sure what that means.
Who is that? Do they know what they're talking about?
Yes, actually, they do know what they're talking about,
Shoot.
but I'm not gonna say their name.
I probably already know.
So anyway, we're gonna do this. Can't hear a word you guys are saying, Steven. You got to turn it up or something.
It's so odd because I can hear it on my phone.
Yes, actually, they do know what they're talking about, but I'm not. Yeah, see that?
Perfect.
That sounds there. I think you need to watch it on your phone. You know, this person that's texting me and telling me what
Is
the
it
problem
just one
is.
person?
No, it was two people, but the first person said that it's working now.
Okay.
This is all first night jitters right here, so
Yeah.
we're just trying to work this out. Just like when you go to the races,
That
you
guy
get.
sounds really clear.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good there.
It's my new phone. Kind of broke the other one, so
We got a fancy 5S now.
I just got a text from Lindsay Bowie. Says sounds perfect on her end.
There you go. All right, you guys all need to get together over at Lindsay's house.
Thanks,
so that,
Lou.
Yeah, so that you can hear it. So, like I said, we're going to do this a little faster. We're not going to have as many guests. Like I said, I've done some pre-tape segment stuff that I hope is entertaining. Cracks me up, and I'm one of the hosts, so I'm hoping it cracks you up too. And if it
You
does,
crack
then
me up all the time.
well,
I'm not gonna fib.
so we'll be good then.
Sometimes I wonder how your mind clicks, but that's a whole nother segment.
That is. We'll save that one for later. Let's start. We'll talk about the races a little bit Saturday. It was opening night. It was Tanks Meets
Tanks
night,
Meets, yep.
correct? And it was the first night for the late models, for the 602s, which I really enjoy them being back. I know you're not a late model fan.
I'm not a Fender fan, I guess.
But- It was neat to see him back on the track for me, especially Tim Szabo and this is great. His smart TV's got good sound, so that's good.
Good
All
deal.
right, we got the sound thing figured out. It was really neat to see Tim Szabo and Steve Szabo back on the racetrack. You know, it was back just like it was back in the 80s and 90s and all
I
that.
didn't get to see him. I know Farmer was a little.
Steve didn't show up on the feature.
Steve broke a rear end, so he was supposed to start on the pole. The feature.
I didn't get
Broke
to
rear
see
end.
him at all. I seen the feature, the 410 feature, and it was.
What were you busy with?
Well,
I know you're working a
opening
pit
night,
gate.
you know, here I am working the pit gate. I figure at some point I want to be able to say that I worked every area, or I know how to work. And I'm kind of a tight ass. I don't like to have to pay a million people to come and it's a short 2-hour job, you know.
Yeah.
But opening night like it is here, water spigots spraying all over the place, things not working right, computers not working. I don't even want to talk about the announcer's booth. That seemed like pandemonium every time I was up there. I had to leave. I was having anxiety attacks.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
A lot of stuff people don't see.
Our printer quit working on us during qualifying.
The printer quit working during qualifying. What do you use the printer for?
Printer time sheets and everything off.
Checks.
Checks.
You guys
Che-
tend to get a little ouchy.
Oh,
if
that's the
there's
same
not
printer that
checks.
for printing checks out too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that'd have
The
been
checks
bad.
are printed backwards and
And some of the checks came down with like a Brian Smith, your name on the top, and somebody else's name on the
bill
bottom.
printed.
And it was a
There were
nightmare.
just weird things that happened the Saturday night.
Opening night. I mean, 3-4 seasons ago, I would have been like sitting in a corner crying, but it happens.
All that stuff happens.
I
you
would
get
have thought it
used
was a full moon, you know.
I think
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, we got a lot, and we got a lot of rain last week, so everybody was on edge, and at least us who are there all the time.
Right.
You know,
the behind the scenes people.
you're there in water all weekend long, up to past your ankles all week long, and then you get there and
Got it in though. Got it
I-
in. It
we
was an
did get to
interesting night,
race.
but we
We-
did get to race. Great crowd for an
crowd
opener.
loved it.
Yeah.
Racers not so much.
You'll have that from time to time. Not
And you know,
everybody's
and
gonna be happy.
I didn't have any fans complaining. No, they they like it, and of course it was brought to my attention they don't pay the bills, and I get that, but don't snicker.
Hey, what
Um,
some of the stuff that goes on out there's got to go on here because it makes the show better. But
I just can't get mad, right? But
Right.
Anyhow, yeah, it seemed like that you guys put on a good show for them. The crowd loved it. We sold out of everything.
great.
We have some pop, a little bit, a couple pops left, but I mean, we sold out of everything. It was like a Speed Week show.
I know. Speaking of the Speed Week show, I was talking to my daughter Carrie Ann, who worked in the concession area for the first time. She was in T-shirts last year, and she was making sandwiches. So I went up and I was watching her. She didn't see me, and I'm proud of my
Right.
baby. She's up there working and all that stuff. It was a lot. She'd never had to do any kind of work like that,
She
so
left
it was
before I
blitz
got
the
to
whole
get-
time.
Before I got to get to talk to her, so I wasn't sure if she
Yeah.
hated it.
Well,
if
she's
she,
calmed down some by now.
Has she?
So yeah, she was not prepared to come back again, but she's gonna have to learn. So
Well, she was bored last year. I asked her, every night I would ask her how'd it go, and she's like,
if you asked her now, she wasn't bored. She really liked it.
She really loved
Yeah.
it.
So, but she was busting her tail up there as everybody else was there.
And it's not always like that, but it was like non-stop.
Yeah, well, I told her just wait till the Speed Week show, and there's going to be a
Speed
lot more
Week's-
people there.
Yeah, Speed Week's tough. And the girls in the kitchen who've been there since Jim Ford was there, they even said, "Oh my gosh, this is like a Speed Week night because
Yeah.
people just ate all night long, and it wasn't cold.
Right.
So
Got a little chilly at the end of the night, but
Yeah,
wasn't bad at all. The wind slowed down, and it was pretty nice.
yeah.
Do you have the finishers? I didn't even think of that.
No.
We know Parker Price Miller, 16-year-old kid, wrenched by Rick Ferkel,
Yeah.
won the 410 feature, his first 410 feature.
Probably 15.
I think he's 16 now.
He is when he signed in. He
Yeah.
was. What a sneeze.
He won a race at East Bay with Rick last year, I believe.
Okay,
We'll edit that
sounds
out,
good. I
so
bet that
you won't be able to
sounds
see that.
good. Sorry.
Where's your cough button or your sneeze
I
button?
know. Oops.
The 305 race was nearly won by a couple guys,
Yep.
but Steve Randall pulled that one out. Jamie Miller took the lead at one point and had an
I
incident.
could hear it. I could hear the crowd, and but I didn't. It got quiet, so I heard Jamie take the lead, and then it got real quiet, so I figured something.
Got real quiet several times in that one. It was
Brandon Moore was running pretty good too that night too.
Brandon Moore was running second and stuck the landing on his flipped by himself in turn one, and left a gigantic chunk of mud that they pulled out of the front of that car after the race. Never touched the top wing, which is interesting
And
to
alright.
flip all by yourself and then not touch the top wing and fill the front end of the car up. But several cars.
Realistically, that was a Jamie Miller kind of track. I when I was listening to Brian talk, I thought, not that Jamie's that elbow up.
Right. Yeah,
rough.
he was on the gas, ran
Yeah.
down Steve and took the lead. But Steve Randall won the 305s, the late models.
And he made it look pretty simple. Steve did. I mean, he went up around the stuff
Yeah, he stayed
versus
pretty smooth.
like everybody else wanting to run around the bottom, and it was really,
Yeah. Well, you're
bad.
going to have to pass Steve on the bottom because he was running around the top. But the late model race would have been, I think it would have been a pretty good race. It was for a little bit. Tim Szabo and Chester Fitch ran side by side for a while, and Tim ended up getting into the front stretch wall and knocked him out of the race. But Chester Fitch won the late model race, and I didn't actually see it. I had gotten paid, and I was walking down behind the grandstands, and Sean Bellini won another feature at Fremont Speedway in the trucks, but it was photo finish with Matt Foose. So I heard the crowd go, rah!
I didn't see.
And then I heard him go,
boo.
boo!
That's what I heard,
So-
and I had even said before they even said who won, and I didn't get to see much racing. I said I thought Sean Villani wasn't racing this. I knew as soon as the crowd, because it was a big boo. It was a
Right.
a heartfelt, oh,
Right.
not him again kind
You
of.
And-
won like by 200 of a second.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to be there, from what I understand. They didn't plan on racing Friday or Saturday night. I think didn't he win at Attica too? I think it won at Attica on Friday night.
Well, I talked to him afterwards. He said he was supposed to go to Indiana Saturday night to race, but they got canceled.
Yeah, because he's running a modified this
Yeah.
year. So that's not going to happen a whole lot with Sean winning every week.
But as
I
a
don't think
racer
that-
and they're booing you, that's got to feel all.
Oh, yeah,
It's
and-
got to feel okay.
And Sean's one of the nicest guys in the pits.
Oh, I
So
know.
for him to get booed is, it's funny. But I mean, when you win all the time, that's what happens. So it's good for
Right.
him. It's good when you're getting booed because
I
you're
think so.
winning all the time.
I think so. I know Parker Price Miller. He's real naive and kind of quiet, and talked to his car owner afterwards, and he was just amazed. Like, did you hear how loud they were cheering for me? That crowd was really loud. So,
Yeah.
it was probably that loud for the boos too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good for that kid to pull one out. The
His
first one at Fremont. And
Car
then,
owner even had said that Rick told him the night before I want to say they were out in Illinois, and Rick said, you know what, let's take him up to Fremont, get him up there, get him beat up a little bit, get him used to it. And this
Yeah.
is his car owner telling me this, and he goes, we didn't even plan on being like part of the show. He goes, so to come up here and win this, Rick was shocked because he really wanted to just come up here and get his feet wet. And
Right. That Rick has that magic. Actually, I went down and talked to
with young
him
kids.
with afterwards, and I got a chance to drive Rick's car last year or year before. And when I walked up to him, I said, "Man, I wish I was 25 years younger when I got to run your car, because I'd have been standing in victory lane too." He's done that with Christopher Bell,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing what he can do with them young kids.
Yeah. Just a really nice group to come in. The track was rough. They never complained. They said, we'll have that. You'll have
Yeah.
that. We have to take that into consideration some nights, and that wasn't all the case all night.
Yeah.
I didn't hear all that all night long, but
You'll have that.
I didn't hear any complaints out of 305 class though.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We're gonna go ahead and like I said, I've done some pre-done segments. We got a Hall of Fame segment with John Lewis. He'll kind of introduce himself in this segment, but he's gonna. If you don't know John, he's the guy that sits probably 3/4 of the way down the main covered grandstands
Same seat
in
every.
the same seat since 1961, and I'm sure you'd recognize him if you saw him. But Stephen, go ahead and play that, and then right out of that, you can go ahead and go to commercial. So we'll be right back.
Started in 1961. I still sat in the same seat I started in when I was coming to the races as a young kid. And I just fell in love with Fremont Speedway and racing. People ask me all the time why I come to the Speedway. And being a competitor that I am, I enjoy the competition, the skill level. Everyone seems to think it's just about going around in a circle, but it's not. When you have to pass cars, lap cars, there's a lot of skill at a high rate of speed. For me, growing up here, it was like a World of Outlaw race every Saturday night. To win the feature, the fastest car had started back, which was fun to watch too, because they would lap cars and they only had 20 laps to do it. Nowadays they have 40 and 50 laps. And the drivers didn't have fire retard uniforms. They come out with a t-shirt and goggles and no power steering, but they just manhandle the cars. It's like a sanctuary for me coming here. I come early, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just sit and I can envision in my mind a lot of races I saw over the years and a lot of great drivers and a lot of great people that I met. It's the friendliest atmosphere I've ever been in. I've been to basketball games, baseball games, and when you have a group of people that come to the races from all over the country that really don't know you, it's just like one big family. It's just a great atmosphere for people to come bring their children, and there's a lot of history and tradition that continues to go on. Mr. Rich Farmer and his crew, they do an excellent job every Saturday night. And for someone like me, I really appreciate it. From the Fremont Speedway Hall of Fame, I'm John Lewis.
Looks like a whole new lawn. What'd you do?
Well, thanks. Went to Lowe's. They gave me a few tips, pointed me toward the right fertilizer, and voila.
Made a huge difference.
And it made me feel like I can do anything. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna finally learn how to fold a fitted sheet. There are no corners! This is impossible!
Chase Elliott, Xfinity Series champ. One word, merchandising. The Chase Elliott seat cover with massaging beard action. Your face is giving the massage.
Are you serious?
The Chase Elliott dipstick.
You know you're big time when you got your own dipstick.
Jumper cables. Tire gauge.
32 pounds.
Chase Elliott garden gnome.
Gnomes are magic.
The Chase Elliott action figure.
That's a blow-up doll.
Blow-up doll action figure.
I heard you telling it.
Are we back? We definitely got to work on that monitor thing so that I can see that, so that where we're at. So anyway, that the John Lewis deal, he's been around forever, and I'm hoping that as we go along, he'll be able to. He was nervous.
I can't imagine though the thrill of you asking him to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what to say about John.
He's the biggest. He's Fremont Speedway's
He is.
biggest fan. He's I was looking for some things to do so that we could kind of move the show along and do it a little different and try and make it a little more entertaining. And that pre-tape stuff is always going to be better because you can edit it. But I asked Randy Mapus and he just wasn't going to be able to do it. He's running Hall of Fame. And then I asked Scott Barman and he wasn't real sure. But he's been around and.
I think he was afraid he would run out of, or he'd get nervous and run out of things
Right,
to
and
talk
that's
about.
understandable.
Right.
Because it is different when I've got 2 tripods set up and I got these 2. I'm using my iPhones to shoot them and they're in your face and there's if you've never done that kind of thing before like this,
Right.
You're not going to be comfortable in it. So John will get better at that, I'm sure. He told a couple stories when we went and filmed that, and I just kind of pulled out what I needed for this, and he'll get another chance to go back and tell the
Probably
stories a
be
little better.
hard pressed to find a fan with more passion for Fremont Speedway than what John has.
Yeah, I would agree.
He stops me every week and tells me, let's try to talk Farmer into do. He likes the old school stuff, let's do this or let's do that, and he's just a big supporter. He's always positive and upbeat. I never get a complaint from John, so he's always a breath of fresh air for me, at least.
That's
I
good.
don't get many of those.
That's good. Steven, I just got another message saying that people lost the show. So this is live. This is really live. So I'm kind of going with what I got happening in front of me. Hopefully that's not the case.
Lindsay hasn't texted me yet, but
Lindsay is our other producer.
well, she's watching it at home. Yep, I still have John Lewis on my phone.
We should be way past that.
See, I'm still.
Is it still playing? Somebody shoot me another text. Let me know if it's still playing here.
It's still streaming.
We're winging it. It's still streaming.
Yeah.
Is it behind or lagged or?
Now I got a commercial. Do you have a lawnmower commercial?
Yeah.
I got.
All right, so maybe we're just lagged behind. Well, we'll. Is this still recording? Will this still record?
It's still recording.
Even if it's not streaming?
Yeah.
So you can put it up later. So if people don't get it on their internet,
Lindsay
they
says
can
it's playing.
watch it later. All right. Well, thanks for being part of the show as we're going along. I just got a fine, so we're good. There's internet outages. This is different people too. So this person's
it?
internet's not working. This person's
Isn't that
sound's
weird?
not working. I did get. I'll tell you after the show who the
Okay.
person was that said the sound wasn't working. Apparently, someone broke his speakers. So he sent me back a text and said, "My bad." So
I bet.
the sound was fine. This is completely unrelated, but we'll go ahead and right to the next segment. This is a deal. Chris Gilbert is the track photographer, CJ Gilbert Photography, and he said that, I work with him, and he wanted to do something to be part of the show and maybe interview some drivers and ask some questions
Oh, go
and
ahead. That's cool.
try and come up with something funny, and we crack each other up. So this is kind of like the comic relief.
It's hard to believe because Chris doesn't say much.
He's quiet. He is.
very quiet.
Right, he is quiet, but I tell everybody that ever says that he is deceptively funny, and I think you'll see this in his clip. It cracks me up, and really, who's going to go back and watch the show? Maybe just me. So this is all it's
I
only got to
will.
crack me up. So go ahead and play. This is a segment from CJ Grover Photography called Out of Focus.
I'm not good.
I'm here with Luke Griffith, driver of the 11G. Checkers or wreckers? Okay. Name a driver, you tell me checkers or wreckers.
Oh, okay.
Jordan Ryan.
Checkers.
Who's another driver? Probably should have something ready, huh? We'll have to edit some of this out. I don't see any other 305 guys. Where are they all? They all go to 410?
I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Luke Griffith.
Checkers.
Really? So let's try this. Ford will probably be in the shot. With Dwayne Zablocki, driver of the 9Z. Checkers or wreckers? I'll name a driver and you tell me checkers or wreckers. Dean Jacobs.
Checkers.
Byron Reed.
Checkers.
Brian Sabito.
Probably wreckers.
I'm here with Brian Sabito. And real quick, without looking, what's the number of car you're driving tonight?
77. I know that much.
We've been doing checkers or wreckers with some of the guys. I'll give you a name. You tell me checkers or wreckers. Dwayne Zablocki.
Checkers. He doesn't tear a lot of stuff up.
Chris Andrews.
Wreckers.
Dean Jacobs.
Ooh, checkers.
Jack Haugenshield.
Both.
True.
Wanting to go for a run. Dad!
What a surprise!
This is my new boyfriend, Mark, I was telling you about.
Nice to meet you. Gotta run, honey.
All right.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So easy to dip, so hard to put down. New rolled chicken tacos. Tasty shredded chicken, all rolled up.
Still disappointed in that monitor right there. We couldn't have watched it.
I'm
But,
still watching Michael Waltrip. Am I even getting close?
Yeah,
Oh, we're back.
there you go. You're back. I don't know if you can see this, but that's a whole bunch of texts that people are sending me. They're all getting different timings and all that kind of stuff. But it's going out, so that's good. I got another one that we're gonna try and do. I don't know who's watching the show. I don't know if there's drivers or fans or who the people are watching it. So we're gonna try and do a tech segment. Mike Linder told me that he would describe some of the things on the race car, how you do things and just that kind of stuff, just to give people a behind the scenes on the race car kind of
Like
look.
a basic kind of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty basic. This one we did first is all the ones that we have. I have one more that we'll do in a little bit, but this is all first try stuff. I'm not a professional editor or anything like that. I don't really know what I'm doing. These people don't know what they're doing, so we're just all flinging this together, trying to make something a little more creative and a little more entertaining, so that it's not a long, dragged out
Right.
interview or that kind of thing. Hopefully we'll get more viewers, more people watching, more people telling people to watch. So we're going to go ahead and show me the Mike Linder segment. He's going to teach us how to adjust valves.
Today, we're going to adjust valves on the Seneboga 19 of Chris Andrews. Okay, first we're going to adjust the exhaust valve on number 5 cylinder. We had to place the engine in a certain rotation position, which is the intake just starting to shut. And now we're going to adjust the exhaust valve on that cylinder. So the first thing we have to do is check the lash on this valve. So we use an 8 thousandths feeler gauge and put it between the tip of the valve and the rocker arm tip. Right now, it's just a little too tight from the one night of wear. So now we're going to adjust on the push rod end of the rocker arm and get this back to where it's exactly 8 thousandths lash. Okay, now we have this valve adjusted to 8 thousandths lash at the tip of the rocker arm. So now we have to roll the engine over to get the intake valve into position to adjust. Okay, now we have the engine in position to adjust the intake valve. On this engine, the intake valve is also 8 thousandths lash. So we'll check it with our feeler gauge, and it's too tight. So just like the exhaust valve, we'll have to adjust the intake valve as well. So we have this homemade tool to adjust the valve. We loosen up the jam, back off the adjuster screw a little bit, and recheck. It's still a little too tight, so you have to adjust a little bit more, and check it, and there you have it. Now both valves are adjusted. So at this point, we need to check the valve spring seat pressure, and we have a gauge for that. So now we're ready to check the seat pressure of the valve springs. We have this gauge that's made by Moroso. You just clip it onto the rocker arm, and you're actually compressing the valve spring. There's a needle here that indicates how much spring pressure there is, and then it goes right up to roughly 300 pounds on this gauge, and before it opens the valve. So at that point, you know the valve spring is still good. It's something that you check every week or every night, depending on how your maintenance program is, but it's something that needs to be checked at least every week. And that pretty much sums it up. You repeat this for every cylinder on the engine, and you're done adjusting valves. For the Last Lap Live, this is Mike Linder.
In small towns across Ohio, neighbors still wave when you walk by. The local grocer always gives a warm smile, and people shop at the same local businesses they always have for the past 50 years. The Bauman Auto Group has been serving small towns in Ohio since 1956. So why shop in the big city when you can get a better price right in your own town? Bauman won't be beat. Our goal is to sell every vehicle for $200 less than the competition. Let's help our small communities stay strong. Find us at BaumanAutoGroup.com or a small town near you.
In this era of nameless internet communication, it's nice to know there are still people who take pride standing behind their signature. They're proud of what they stand for, the effort, the struggle, the losses, and the wins. Their examples of how to get up after a mishap are bright displays of optimism, giving us all the courage to carry on regardless of the odds. We respect their determination and integrity. Our name is Callie's.
Hey, welcome back to the Last Lap Live. I hope you learned something. I hope that I learned how to come in and out of these segments and breaks and all that kind of stuff better. I'm not a host. I'm a slightly above average race car driver, and this is all new to me, so we're just trying to wing this and try and make it, like I said, a little more entertaining.
And I just follow your lead, so you just keep working on it so that I can follow.
So you're not going to work on it? You're just going to follow my lead?
Yeah, I just do what you do.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as we go, we'll have more content that we can, actually talk about and that sort of stuff too. But I mean, this works for me. Hopefully, we get some good feedback from this. We're trying to keep the show to around a half an hour. Everybody's got a lot of stuff to do.
It's hard to sit down for an hour and watch.
Right. It's hard to sit down and do this. It's hard to sit down and watch this, and all that kind of stuff. Steven's got to be here early to plug all this stuff into the program that we use to run the show and all that kind of thing. So we're just trying to get things moved along faster. We're going to go ahead and do one more segment. I'm going to interview, and this is for you fans out there, at my trailer. You can find me. I'm just on the other side of the pit tower usually, as long as I can get my spot. I'm going to interview hopefully a couple fans.
Is that hard to do?
What's that?
Get your spot.
Well, I get there early, and I try and get in first. I go and park the truck and trailer over there real early because I want to be in that spot.
I know that it seems like that's a thing. You drivers have a spot.
Everybody likes to have their own spot.
Over the winter, I've seen that some of the racetracks, believe it or not, actually charge drivers to do that.
Lots of tracks do,
which I think is
actually.
ludicrous. I just can't even imagine another cost to you guys just to park.
Right. There's paved spots at places that people pay to have a paved spot and that sort of stuff.
Sandusky does that.
Several racetracks.
Sandusky does it. Yeah, I've seen lots of racetracks too. I've been to a lot of racetracks.
I was surprised. We went to a workshop and over the winter, and there's a lot of the things that they charge for. I'm just like, oh, we would be eaten alive if we tried.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to begin with, but
Right. There's certain advantages to being in different spots and stuff. And for me, I like to be in that spot because everybody knows where I'm at. We generally have a lot of people that come down
do.
after the races, and they
'Cause
always
you
know
stay.
where we're at. Yeah, because we're one of the last
Yeah.
ones. Although I wasn't this week, and I have no excuse not to. But we weren't one of the last ones there this
Why
week.
weren't you?
We ended up going to Denny's early, so we do that a lot after the races, which is why a lot of people come down to the trailer, and then we go as a group a lot of times. But so anyway, I'm going to the plan is all these segments won't be on every week. I don't think. It depends on if I can get them all done and all that kind of stuff. But I'd like to have, when the fans come by, we're going to grab some. We're going to interview them in the trailer. It'll look a lot like this next one that we're going to do.
I see what you're doing here.
What's that?
You're getting all the fans down there. You're going to monopolize our fans.
Well, maybe.
It's not a bad idea. I think it's very
Yes, that's what I'm doing. I want all the fans on my trailer.
selling some T-shirts.
I have to get some T-shirts first.
You don't have T-shirts?
I don't have any T-shirts this year.
Shit.
No,
Trying
we
to help you out here.
we had some T-shirts last year, and they went over really well. There was one particular issue that made it a little awkward, so we're not going to do those again. But I'll explain that to you off the air.
Okay.
You're not going to get that one. But the fans, when they come down, we see a lot of the same fans each week, so we will grab some of them, and some of them will want to talk on the air, and some of them won't. But we'll interview them. We'll ask them about their night, how it went, favorite driver kind of stuff, what they thought was the best night, whatever, just whatever comes up.
Did you get one this week?
We got one this week.
Sweet.
And we're gonna end. We ran our last commercial already, right? So we're gonna run this segment, and it's called the Spectator Sound Off. We'll come back. We'll talk about next week, and then that'll be the show. So go ahead, Stephen, run the Spectator Sound Off for me. Because you'll freeze up if you look at the camera. So
I came here at 4, got pit pass, came down, hung out with some of the drivers, got to watch some qualifying heat races, and then moved my way to the stands for the B's and A's. It was a good time. The track was a little rough, but saw some good racing. 305s, 410s, trucks, and the new modifieds.
They're late models. How long have you been coming to the races?
1 year.
That's all you got. Why do you come to the races?
Brian Smith.
Tell me the real reason why you come to the races.
Escape from reality. I get to have a good time and just have some fun.
All right, who's your favorite driver? Don't name me.
The low rider. Dale Blaney.
Dale Blaney.
Dale Blaney.
Anything else we want to ask? Checkers or wreckers? It was all wreckers this year. Yeah, it was.
And did you have a good time?
Always have a good time at Fremont Speedway.
I did not. I didn't prompt him to say anything. That was all. This guy.
Of course, I can't see it.
Yeah, right. We haven't been able to see
I
it
will
because the
watch
monitor's
it.
not. But him and his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, they've been coming down after the races most of last year, and so we got to know him a little bit. So we started with him because I knew he would talk. But yeah, none of that was prompted. We just asked him questions, and I didn't have anything planned. I probably won't have anything really planned. We were just winging it, and then I just cut it together to however I think it's entertaining. And I don't know. We'll let you people decide if it was entertaining or not.
It sounded like
But,
it. I couldn't see it. But
Yeah, it sounded entertaining. And
It did sound entertaining.
We'll see what it looks like on the
As
show.
I heard the low rider.
Right. So he tried to say me, but I didn't want to do that. But so anyway, there's some of the things that we're going to try and do. Hopefully it's made the show a little bit better. Let's talk about what we got going on next week. I know Kurt Jeffries is bringing up his
Yes,
race car because he's
he-
sponsored by.
The Make It Fit Foundation, which is, it wasn't on our schedule. We have our Bring a Friend to the Races night, and honestly, I can't tell you how it all started. I think Kirk and I started talking, and I said, you're coming up to Fremont, and he's involved with this autism awareness group, and we've thrown this together in the last week and a half, and it looks like they've saved a block of rooms up the street, so they've got quite a few people coming. They've got some awesome. Everybody's going to get a ticket at the gate when they get in. They've got some like NASCAR tires that are certified. They come with a certificate. I've seen a Trevor Bayne one, and there's 4 or 5 of them, and they have a gold wrench set from Richard Petty, and just all kinds of giveaways and stuff going on. Kirk's gonna have his car pulled up there, take some pictures with the kids or family or whatever they
Right.
want to do. So,
And who's the night sponsor?
oh, I'm sorry, Gressman Level.
Level Gressman.
Level Gressman.
Make it fit.
Bring a friend to
Bring a friend.
Autism Action Night.
All right, start that from the beginning. Can you do that all?
Is it Gressman Level or is it Level Gressman?
Gressman Level.
I thought it was Gressman Level. Gressman Level, bring a friend to Autism Action Night at Fremont Speedway.
There you go. Gates open at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Kirk's gonna have his car there around 3:30. If people want to get there a little early and get their pictures taken with them, it sounds like they're bringing a big group of people with them. So I'm gonna try this year. You know, I like to do and give to people things like that. So I want to do more awareness for local things. Everything that's brought in this weekend for them will stay in Sandusky County for children with autism.
Good deal.
So, you know, we're going to try to do. We have an ALS event coming up, and we can talk about that in a couple weeks. But I'm really going to try to not focus on my Kick It stuff as much, and get some more awareness to some local things going on.
Good deal. Anything else we need to talk about?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good. So it's what she said. The race is next week, Fremont Speedway. Gates open at 4. Racing is at 7, I believe.
Is this Saturday then?
It's this Saturday. This Saturday.
And Michelle
Right.
Gressman and Dennis Lovell, for them guys have put a really exciting package together for their night. Some night sponsors don't do a whole lot. These guys, or
I know they always have stuff to give away. And
She's really put a nice little deal together. So
good.
she's got some good stuff planned.
Good. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. This has been The Last Lap Live. Check us out on thelaslaplive.com. You'll be able to find us at YouTube. I think it's Last Lap Live. Should be up in another hour or so. Please share that. The Facebooks and the Twitters and all that stuff connected to Fremont Speedway and Last Lap Live. Share all those. And we'll see you out at the races.